that has popped up is today, actually, we had two games played earlier this afternoon, is while the Super Bowl is going for us, it is now the round of 16 knockout round for the Champions League. So if you're not a major soccer fan, or football as it's called across the pond, this is where the top tier, top competing professional teams all over Europe compete against each other to play each other. Connor and I are going to take through, and with the round of 16, talk about who our must, bust, and trust teams are. But Connor, this is a little bit different of a tournament. So explain to our fans and those watching, how does the round of 16 work?
Yep. So it's a little more straightforward than the group stage for those that aren't as familiar with soccer tournaments. But the idea is you play a home and away, and the first tiebreaker is obviously who scores the most goals, right? Whoever scores the most goals. The big thing is that the first tiebreaker, because all these games are such low scoring, is away goals. So for example, Barcelona played PSG today. PSG won 4-1. PSG Paris Saint-Germain was in Barcelona. So now Barcelona, not only they can't win by 3 goals in Paris. If it's 3-0, Barcelona has to score more than 5 goals. They have to score. It has to be 4-0 for Barcelona to be able to not just match Paris on the goal sheet, but actually go ahead in total. So the big thing there as a soccer fan is, especially in this tournament, is to think about away goals. So you play 16, and because the continent of Europe is a little smaller, you kind of redraw each round. So you don't quite know who your next opponent is, even if you win this round. So really excited to do a little must, bust, or trust. UEFA Champions League edition. We do have a few soccer fans that do follow us, so we can't wait to hear your thoughts. So let's kick it off with must. Rutledge, who are you going with? Who's your must team here?
My must team is a great team out of Germany and a great town if you haven't been to it. I'm taking Bayern Munich, and they are just strong, and they're the team to beat, and they just dominate. They dominate the Bundesliga, and they dominate a bunch of other stages. So shout out to Bayern. They're a fast, strong team. They're third in attack speed with rated off of the article The Athletic did, and they're fourth in shots. They play Lazio coming up, so I feel like that should be a pretty good out for them, but they'll have a really good showing. So who's your must?
I'm picking Man City. I heard an interesting stat over the weekend in Premier League play. They were playing Tottenham 1-3-0. Do you know the last time that Man City trailed in a game?
When?
Was November against Tottenham. They haven't trailed in 15 games. Man City is, and this is without their 2 best offensive players. They're crushing it. Liverpool's starting to kind of give up the league, Premier League. I know we're talking Champions League, but for me, it's important to, if you have to win multiple trophies, right? It's really hard to win 3 trophies, but it's a little bit easier if you can kind of wrap one up a little earlier. So it seems like Man City is going to win Prem League a little, not easily, but they don't have to put their foot on the gas as hard. And then their team will only get better when Kevin De Bruyne comes back, as well as Sergio Aguero. Pep Guardiola is, he is the Beethoven of soccer managers. That guy, he is a tortured genius that only compares himself to the greatest of all time. So I think Man City is going to be a real buzzsaw of a team to go against in this Champions League.
Well, that steps us up to bust, and I'm going to say my bust is really hard to defend here, because my bust, when I wrote this yesterday, I have PSG, I have Paris Saint-Germain. Feel like Connor said, plugged it in kind of gracefully there. They won 4-1 against Barcelona, who in my opinion looked really dangerous. They have Neymar out. It seems like today that didn't bother them. But how is that going to do when they play again in March? When they play their next round, they also get extremely heavily fouled. So while they may have come out today in really good form and done really well in the sense of the tiebreakers for them, how do they bounce that back when a little bit more time has come? And then are they able to really sort of hold on and make it work? So that is who I think, while even though they won today, because it's a 2-game series, I think they could bust apart really bad and it could get really ugly for them.
And to defend your bust, PSG, they, Barcelona's defense is, and this is from, I'm a Barcelona fan. We're saying our fanship here. Barcelona's defense is probably the worst left in Champions League. Maybe not statistically speaking, but they don't have it together in the back end. And PSG always has, in recent memory, a ton of good offensive players. So this is Barcelona. They are trying to thread that needle of staying relevant and rebuild. So they're not really going for, you're going for Champions League glory, but you look at the team out there. I mean, you had a lot of young guys out there and players that I think they're trying to groom to put together a next big time Barcelona run. My bust is Liverpool. Over the weekend, Liverpool lost again. They need to work off of a lot of momentum, and they just don't have it. And not only that, as things are going a little poorly, Mo Salah and Sadio Mane are seeming to have some internal strife with each other. Their goalkeeper, Alisson Becker, his nickname is called Alisson Blunderland because of all the blunders that he's had at goal. And I heard an interesting stat that there has been 13 different center back pairings for Liverpool this season, which you need consistency at the back end to be effective at the highest levels. And 13 is probably like 11 too many. So Liverpool's my bust.
Bring us to our last segment of who do we trust. So I am going to go with a good old Connorism of not betting against those unless they make you bet against them. And I'm going to pick Juventus. Now, Juventus may not be the rising star of like a Biner in the must category, but Ronaldo is still one of the greatest stars in the world. And they have a defense that is growing based on what Adrian Pirlo, if I say that wrong, let me know, his vision. They have taken a lot of steps to adjust. I think you can trust them to go at least pretty deep in the tournament and do good in this round of 16. So I am going to go with Juventus going forward.
And don't forget Juventus with Wes McKennie, the American, who not just getting playing time in Juventus, but is like incredibly important for Juventus. So I always love that being over here in America. My trust team and the team that I believe is least likely to get upset is Atletico Madrid. Diego Simeone is a very steadying hand right there. He's always hung his hat on defense, but now, you've got Luis Suarez that is just, I mean, he's having his renaissance. João Felix is coming into his own. Do they have the fortitude to beat a Bayern or a Man City? Or Juventus could be a little bit of a toss-up. I don't know about that, but they're not going to get upset by anybody. So I trust Atletico Madrid to make a nice deep run, and those guys aren't getting upset.
All right, so that's our must, bust, and trust for the Champions League. This is a big show for us, guys. We thank you so much for coming out and checking us out. It is Tuesday. It is 8 o'clock. We're on Twitch. We're on Zoom. You also check us out. We've launched our Facebook. We have a Twitter now. We are on YouTube. We have a podcast. We're growing, Connor.
We had a new segment, Friends Drop In.
Friends Drop In, right? So new segment, new thing.